Hey guys, welcome back to Saturday Station Farm. We've got a new shelter built for the sows and I'm super pumped to show you. Let's go check it out. So the old shelter was right behind me. It was built in a really low spot, basically where the pigs are... Avoid the rooster. Basically where the pigs are eating right now, that's where it was. It was in a low area. And we eventually built up the ground and were able to move the hoop house. These damn roosters. We're able to build a new shelter that's high and dry off to the side. So really one of the first things we did was built up a big pad out of tailings and gravel. So it's about 4 feet high in the back. And it has a nice gravel top to it. We took a whole bunch of old logs that had been dropped off that had been around a compost bin and surrounded the whole side of the pad just to prevent erosion. Pigs like to dig on things and they're bound to be digging at the gravel, and I don't want it to completely erode and then gravel be coming out from underneath our hoop house. So this is an old hoop house that was given to me Fisher Farm years ago, and I could never get my tractor in. In fact, if you take a look at this hoop behind me, it's a little squirrely. It's because I hit it with the tractor, trying to push hay bales inside here a winter or two ago. It's still working. Sows are running around. But I needed something taller so I could actually get in here with the tractor. So what I did was I built a 2-foot extension for the hoops and compressed the width of this structure. That way, it'd give it a little bit more of a peak so that snow would shut off and drop off the sides. And so you can see here, I basically just took this section of pipe. This is the original ground rod. I put a little sleeve inside here and bolted it on, and then bolted on the next section and put on a 2-foot section of pipe that then my hoop would slide down inside. Now I didn't bolt these, I didn't bother with it. I didn't actually bolt the hoops down to the structure. There's so much wood and everything's, some of the seams were all bubble gummed together and band-aided together, but I didn't mess with it. It's not going to go anywhere. And with 2 open ends, I will leave these ends open for airflow. The wind's going to come right through here. It could lift up, but the path of least resistance is out the other end. So it's unlikely to get very much uplift with this. And a lot of the little scab pieces were because the hemlock that we picked up was not exactly the same width everywhere. And there was some cupping and twisting, and the boards are kind of a mess, and some are drier than others. But it's just for the sows. They don't care. So there's some scabs here and there just to hold them together. And some of the ground rods were not 100% square. Some kind of went in and out a little bit. So there's some compensation to be made for. It is what it is. And so one thing I'm trying out this time, usually I've just used the regular 4mm greenhouse plastic, but this time we've actually gone with like the 10mm with a woven fabric inside it. I've actually used this back years ago when I was doing masonry. I was tending masons, and they would wrap their scaffolding when laying bricks and stones in the middle of winter, so you can get a salamander to go in and warm them up, and the mud would stay dry or stay warm and not freeze on you because of the water in it. So this stuff's pretty rugged, and because I don't need opacity, I don't need a lot of light transmission like you would if you're growing vegetables. I can get away with having less light transmission because it's really, strength is what I'm concerned about. I need something that's going to be strong and last for a long time, but will let plenty of light in to let the sows get warm when they're lounging in the winter. Any trees and any gunk falling off, any snow loads, any of that kind of stuff, it'll be resistant to that, and maybe even a little resistant to them chewing on it. So we're going to see how it works. I'm excited. Costs a little bit more, but it should last, hopefully, much longer than the other stuff. And that typical greenhouse plastics will last years and years and years and years, especially if they have a UV inhibitor in them so that the plastic doesn't break down and become all brittle and fall apart like your cheapo tarps and stuff that are out there. So we'll see. And then lastly, I'll pick up a bunch more round bales and we'll fill the inside, the front of the barn here, with hay bales to act as a wind block. And I'll put some more in there as we get closer to winter, probably another month, maybe 2 months. We'll see how things go. And that'll work super effective as a windbreak. They can get behind it, they can burrow down inside it, it will stop snow from going in the side there, and they can pull it apart, chew on as they want, they get chew toys. It'll be perfect for them. And there is a bed of, 18-ish inches of wood chips on top of the gravel and below the hay. And that's just one more bit of insulation between the full ground, the soil. And I guess if they can chew on, and if any urine or wherever their bathroom's gonna be, if they decide to go to the bathroom inside it, it'll percolate right down through it. It'll keep up off the ground a little bit if any water does make its way in there. Just gives them a little buffer. And it'll just keep breaking down into compost. It'll keep that hay from matting too much. It'll be nice and airy, and they should be happy as can be. So I'm super excited. Sows are all moved in, and we're gonna see how it works. All right, back to work. See you guys. Thanks.